This story isn't really on the internet. And we tried to find the source material for it, but we couldn't. Like, we literally looked, we couldn't find it. It's a story out of Mexico. And so we finally had our Spanish language researcher track down this library in Mexico that had a copy of this story. There was a very unique recording and transcript, and it's being stored like locally at this library in Mexico. And so the way to access this story is you can't just like contact the library. You have to write them a letter to get access to this story.
To hear a story?
So in June of 1976, there's this 23-year-old kid named Rafael Perez, and he's training to be a pilot. So he takes off at 9:15 a.m. and right away he notices that it's very foggy. But at a certain point, based on his instruments, he realizes he's off course, he's lost. And so he tries calling in with a radio back to the control tower to be like, I'm lost, like I'm letting you know, it's gonna take me a minute. He doesn't really hear back from them, it's sort of garbled static. And then he realizes, oh, I need to fly back left. I need to go left. So he takes the yoke, the steering wheel, and he tries to bank the airplane left. But the airplane doesn't go left. The plane actually begins to climb. And he's not pulling back on the yoke. He's not making the plane climb. The plane is climbing on its own. He's ascending up to like 8, 9, 10,000 feet. About the time he's totally obscured in the clouds, he feels this overwhelming tiredness come over him. And he passes out, just passes out in the cockpit. He wakes up in the cockpit, has no idea how long he's been asleep for, but a couple things immediately become clear to him. He's still in the air, he's still coasting along, right? He also looks out the window and there's no more mist or fog or anything like that. It's actually just the open ocean underneath him. And as he's like coming to like, what's happening here? Somebody chimes in over the radio and goes, hey, are you there? And he grabs his radio and he's totally frantic. He's like, hey, I fell asleep in my plane. I don't know where I am. And there's a pause, and this is all recorded. There's a pause, and the guy on the other end, he introduces himself sort of cautiously. He's like, hey, this is Carlos. Are you alone in your airplane? And Rafael's like, of course I'm alone. Like, where am I? What? I think I fell asleep. I don't know what's going on. And Carlos's reaction is just sort of, okay, well, listen, here's what we're gonna do. You're just off the coast of Acapulco, and for the last hour, you've been flying out over the water. You just kind of showed up. Hey, just come into the airport where I am. I'm gonna get you in there, you're gonna land, and we'll talk to you then. He lands at the airport in Acapulco, and as soon as he gets off, there's these people in suits that are there to meet him. And they immediately take him, they detain him, and so finally they say, okay, we're gonna tell you what happened. So when you showed up off the coast of Acapulco at about 10:30 in the morning, which no one understands how you got there, it's not possible. You showed up on the radar screen of who you were talking to, Carlos, the air traffic control guy. And he talked to you for an hour while you were out over the water. That whole time you were circling, you were talking to him, and it was recorded. When Carlos saw this blip on his radar at 10:30, he said, hey, who is this? You're flying over Acapulco's coast. What's going on here? The voice came back and said, the pilot is speaking, but not of his own free will. We are using him as a microphone. Your equipment is too primitive. It is not important who we are or where we come from, only that we are inhabitants of the same universe. For the next 30 to 45 minutes, the voice being projected through Rafael talked about humanity is the only intelligent species in the entire universe that uses warfare and conducts violence on each other, and you are poised for a nuclear holocaust, and you may be exterminated if this continues. And then at about 11:30, Rafael wakes up. And his voice changed completely. And he's like, oh, what's going on? I think I fell asleep at the wheel. No one has any idea how Rafael wound up over the coast. They examined his plane, nothing wrong with his plane. And the Mexican government quickly took this story, buried it, and now you can only access it in this obscure library in Mexico.